All right, guys. So it is time to review the 0.15 patch notes. I haven't read them yet. I've been kind of like waiting a little bit to kind of go over these, just kind of letting obviously stream cook a little bit, waiting for everybody to kind of get in here so we can kind of talk about it and see what exactly is new. Because obviously there's kind of a lot to cover here. It's supposed to be a pretty big update. Some things potentially controversial as well. So anyway, we're going to be getting into the patch notes here. We're just going to kind of break it down, kind of give you guys all of the clean takes that you guys are obviously looking for, because you guys know I'm not going to bullshit you or fluff shit. Gonna just kind of say it how it is, or say it how I think it is. So let's go ahead and just start getting into it. This update features a full profile wipe. So you fucking dumbasses, this is a wipe. Don't ask me when the wipe is. Don't ask anybody when the wipe is. The wipe is today. You should be able to figure that out if you have two parts of a brain. And you can go on Twitter and literally click any official social media from Battlestate and figure out that the wipe is today. New content. Factory rework. All textures and geometry of the plant building, its interior rooms, cellars, structures, and machinery have been completely redesigned while maintaining the general dimensions and layout of the original layout. Great. I honestly love that. Factory is like the oldest map. It was the first map in the game even before customs was a thing. And so it's really cool to see that actually, you know, like super refreshed. Love to see that. Rooms, basements, workshops have been refined while maintaining a large size objects of the original location. Some areas of the plant at the cellar area that connects all four workshops have been expanded. Added outdoor areas to the plant. Oh, outdoor areas to the plant. Does that mean we can actually go outside? That's cool as fuck. I've always wanted factory to be like a building, and then there's like an exterior to the, basically a mini interchange, if that makes sense, like a small interchange. That's how I've always wanted factory to be. That's fucking awesome. Let's hope that's actually meaning we can go outside. Added several new crosswalks at dead-end locations. Improved the upper-level area in the workshops for easier accessibility. Adjusted the spawns and extracts, PMCs and scavs to match the expanded areas. So hopefully more extracts and no more bullshit extract camping. That's going to be fantastic. Improved AI behavior for all location and layout changes. Redistributed loot and containers throughout the location. Added new tasks to the location. Fuck yeah, that's sick. Let's go. Big old factory work. We'd love to see that. New boss, Partisan. Added a new boss called Partisan. Not much is known about his background, but people say that he is a combat veteran and he's obsessed with tripwires and booby traps since these days. He is on a good terms with Jaeger. Their goals and moral compasses seem to be aligned, or perhaps it is their military past that binds them together. Yeah, they're probably like homies. I guarantee you there's going to be a quest where, you know, he's like, don't kill the Partisan. And then Skier's going to be like, kill the Partisan. And then you're going to have to like choose. Partisan holds firm in his principles in Tarkov, going after people he believes to be honorless and hunting them down, whether they be PMCs or scavs. He has no ties to any of the local bosses and tries not to cross paths with them. His view on the traitors are simply negative, with the exception of Jaeger. Your standing with Fence has no effect on Partisan's attitude toward you, and it cannot be increased or decreased by helping or killing him. The boss appears to be at forest-type locations. He is more likely to appear in raids with low PMC Karma PMCs. Oh, interesting. So he's going to hunt low Karma PMCs. That's kind of cool. In this case, Partisan will hunt these players down. If these are scavs with low Karma in the raid, they will also become his targets. However, any player has to be ready for any of the traps and expect a firefight when encountering the boss, regardless of their Karma. Partisan prefers a stealthy approach, taking advantage of the terrain, setting up traps in advance, and only then engaging in open combat. The process of preparing and exploring a location takes up most of his time. While open confrontations are less frequent, when fighting against multiple opponents, he can lure one of the players to his booby traps, which he sets up beforehand. The boss acts alone. He installs tripwires, actively uses grenades, and can move quietly through the terrain and track his target for a long time through the... Oh, I'm curious to see... I would like to just see how this boss, like, works. Like, just watching him, like, on a camera. I'm really curious to see how his logic works, because it seems like he spawns in a raid... He starts patrolling an area, he starts putting traps down, and then he like literally stalks you, which sounds kind of cool. Oh, here's a big one! Oh, Karma! Oh my gosh, all the fucking PvP stands are so butthurt. What do you mean I can't kill everybody on side? I hate this game, it's a PvP game. Added a new parameter called Karma. The Karma value changes depending on the player's actions. Generally can be increased by adhering to a more open playstyle and decreasing for a dishonest playstyle. The number of triggers that change the value of Karma will always be increasing, and the triggers themselves will be adjusted and balanced further. In some cases, Karma changes can be tracked by a distinct sound notification. So that is super vague. Thanks, Battlestate. I wish we could know a little bit more. I don't really know what to say, because they didn't really give me a lot of information here. so I really have no idea what that means. Map to map travel. It's here. Here we go. Map to map travel. New game event, Marathon. During the Marathon event, local transits will only be available in the corresponding game mode. Marathon is only available in PvP. Players will receive a unique achievement for completing the Marathon event. After the event is over, all location transit will become available in all raids. Added the ability to travel from one location to another. To move to one location, the player must enter a transit zone and select the appropriate option in the context menu. Location transits are available after 7 minutes from the start of the raid. During transit, the player will be able to transfer some items found in raid, which will be moved to the stash for a certain price. After transferring items, the transit timer will begin. When activating the transit and transfer of items, the ability to exit current location will become unavailable. The player will be forced to use the transit. When attempting to transit in a group, players can use the transit only if all living members of the group are in the transit zone. If several players who are not in the same group use the transit at the same time, they will be transferred to the next location. Solo players can join a group and also transit to the next location together. So I think my assumption is that karma is going to be affected by this a bit. So you grouping up with another player in raid and then taking a trip with them to another raid is actually going to increase your karma. That's what I'm kind of getting from that. There's just an assumption, so we'll see. The available transit directions are marked with a dotted line on the location selection screen. Added marathon achievement for visiting all locations in one raid. So basically the guide. That's cool. So yeah, marathon. So raid to raid travel. So this will be cool. I'll probably end up doing this. This sounds fun. Tripwires. Added tripwire installation feature. Yeah, both. You're going to be scared of tripwires. Everybody's like, no, tripwires. Oh, I'm so scared. Sorry, we all knew this was coming. Mines and tripwires were confirmed for a long time. You're going to be like, this is a stupid game. I don't want to walk around a corner and die. Yeah, it's going to happen to me too. It's going to happen to everybody. And then you're going to put a tripwire down and you're going to be like, ha, that fucking retard jumped into a tripwire. What a dumbass. Can't believe you didn't see the wire. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to kill somebody with a tripwire. Nobody wants to die to one. It's just the way the game is, bro. We'll see what happens. And more than anything, I don't think it's going to be like an instant kill, because obviously if it's a grenade, like an F1, you're going to hit the tripwire, the grenade's going to fall to the ground, you're probably going to hear it, and then you have like 4 seconds to get away. So you have some time to get away. Even if it's an impact grenade, I don't think those are going to go off instantly, but I can't say that for certain because I don't really know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. A single-use consumable item, the tripwire installation kit, is now required to install a tripwire. The item cannot be found in raid or bought off the flea market. The kit will be available for purchase after completing a Jaeger task chain. That's cool. Good way to limit it so people don't get too many. When the item is in the inventory, the player gets access to put the tripwire mode by using B key on the appropriate grenades. The grenade must be in the hands to switch to a tripwire mode. The tripwire has a minimum and maximum installation length and can only be placed on any flat and slightly inclined surface. Tripwires can be activated a number of ways: by shooting the wire from a distance, by hitting the wire with explosion shrapnel, by hitting the wire with a physical object, including players, bots, and items. Wait, so I can drop an item on a tripwire? Okay, that's funny. During activation, the tripwire does not explode instantly, but with the fuse delay specified by the grenade's description. Tripwires can be disarmed. To do so, approach the booby-trapped grenade and disarm it with the context menu. Disarming takes a certain amount of time, and having a multitude in your inventory significantly reduces the time to disarm. Wow, they added a use for the multi-tool. It's only been in the game for 8 years, and it actually does something now. I can't believe it. It actually does something. It's worth having on you. I can't believe that. Granted, I'm sure we're not going to disarm tripwires that much, but holy shit, it actually does something. Whoa, that's crazy. Wow, it finally does something. That's great. Well, Clean, it actually was for the hideout upgrade. Shut up, that's not what I meant! After disarming, you can pick up the grenade used in the tripwire. Tripwires disarm on their own after a certain amount of time. That's kind of weird, but okay. Bipods weapon mounting. Added the ability to mount weapons and use bipods. To mount a weapon, the player must aim at a suitable horizontal or vertical surface and press the mount weapon keybind, V key by default. Great, another keybind. The recoil and stamina consumption is reduced when firing mounted. To mount a weapon on a bipod, press the toggle bipod P, Control V, more keybinds, yay. Then point at a suitable horizontal surface and press the mount keybind. The recoil, stamina consumption, and sway is greatly reduced when firing from a bipoded weapon. Ooh, that's going to be really nice for snipers. Dome sniping has a whole new meaning now, I'm not going to lie. Mounting the weapon while prone is only available if the bipods are installed and deployed on the weapon. The corner in the icon of the screen shows whether the weapon is mounted or the signals have been given surface not suitable for mounting. Hell yeah. Very sick. Love that. New hideout zone gear rack. The new gear rack is added to the extended part of the hideout and has 3 upgrade levels. Each level adds a mannequin which can be used to display any gear equipable on your PMC. You can equip gear from the mannequin or exchange gear already equipped by your PMC to the mannequin's gear. Pouch items and special slot items do not apply to equipping and exchanging. Mannequin gear is displayed in the list of kits window. You can equip a kit from the mannequin there. That's cool. So basically just kits. New hideout zone, Cultist Circle. I heard this one is kind of controversial, mainly because Unheard editions get it instantly. New Cultist Circle is located outside the main hideout. Outside, that's weird. You can sacrifice up to 5 items in the Cultist Circle. The value of each sacrificed item adds up. The total determines the value of items received as a gift from the cultist. The cultist cannot deliver items to you while you are in the hideout. If you value a single sacrifice as above a certain threshold, there's a 25% chance to receive items needed for active tasks and unfinished hideout zones. The value of the sacrificed items is further increased by bonuses from Sacred Amulet Hideout Management skill. So basically, we just sacrifice items to potentially get a reward. And you get this right away as Unheard. So, get f***ed, losers. Pay to win. Imagine being poor. Couldn't be me. Those would be the same people who'd be like, ABI's payment model's totally fine. ABI's not pay to win. Even though I can buy real money with in-game money with real money and then buy gear right away and keep doing that as much as I want, it's fine because other players can lose the gear and it's not pay to win. Shut up. Both the games are pay to win. They're just different. ABI is just way more egregious. Tarkov's still pay to win, just not as bad. Added variation in ABI behavior when spotting another AI or player in PvE mode. Behavioral model is chosen depending on the lore relationship between factions, possible reactions, instant aggression and attack, friendly unless shown aggression, total friendliness, warning and attacking if not obeyed, natural, useless. Why isn't this a thing in PvP? Why can't AI react to other AI in PvP mode too? Because like raiders should kill scabs and like stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Choice of whether to be aggressive depends on the mood of the bot and the faction of the target. For example, an AI bear encounters AI USEC. They are more likely to engage, but not 100% likely than they would if they were to encounter another bear. The decisions whether to be aggressive or peaceful is made for both player scabs and player PMCs. The chance of beating a more aggressive AI PMC varies depending on the location. For example, ground 0, under level 20, the bots are more likely to be friendly. At the lab, they're the most aggressive. Makes sense. Faction interactions will be implemented and balanced after further in both PvE and PvP modes. New weapons, equipment, and loot. 9mm Uzi pistol, hell yeah. So a couple variants of the Uzi, nice. SR3M, sweet. Magnum Research, Desert Eagle. Nikita said he was never going to add this, bro. I remember podcasting, Nikita's like, I'm never adding a Desert Eagle to my game, ever. He's so adamant about that, but I guess we have Desert Eagle now in 357 and 50 AE, which is cool. US Ordnance M60E4, that's going to be hot. That'll be fun. M60 next to the PKM. PKP is my favorite machine gun in the world. Like, out of all of the belt feds I've shot a lot. M60 is probably easily one of my favorites. Right next to the PKM. Updated weapon models. AS Val, VSS Ventores, PP19 Keter, PP19 Keter, PP19 Plin. So we got some new models for weapons. That's cool. Honestly, I hope they update the animations for some of these guns too, because they're very old. Like the MP5 desperately needs new reload animations. So does the AKs and M4s. They are very old. New caliber, 50 Action Express. New ammo, 50 AE types of ammunitions. Other weapon improvements. New weapon attachments. Nice. Adjust the functionality for pistol grips on the macro PM pistol. If there's a quick drop button on the grip, the interaction and the animation for the pistol is changed. Oh, that's cool. Improve the AUG 1, AUG 3 visuals. Up to the grip animation. Added visually operating gas piston. That's cool. Added some animation variations depending on the installed attachments for new and updated weapons. Updated the grenade animation. Oh, nice. Added new types of equipment, armor, helmets, loot, new options for character customization. Quality of life improvements. This is actually a great one. We love quality of life. We need more of this. Optics, zoom adjustability. Add the ability to smoothly adjust the zoom for following optics. List the optics. I'm not going to read all these, but obviously anything that's like a 1 to something X, we can now smoothly transition through the zoom. Wonderful change. No more just like click, click to max and 4X. This is actually going to make sniping really enjoyable too, because it'll make like using like other sniper scopes actually much more viable. So I'm really curious to experiment and see how this feel. Default hotkeys for smooth zoom adjustments are Alt, scroll up and down. Not a bad hotkey. Selecting grenade with G. A new icon with the hotkey G is available for quick access bar. It will display the grenade the player will equip first. You can select a specific grenade by holding G. Nice. The drop-down list displays only unique grenades with their retrospective quantities. Flashlight and tactile device operation mode. Added the ability to activate tactile devices and flashlights by pressing and holding a hotkey. Oh, so maybe like a Comoros wheel. Manual value entry in game settings. Added the ability to manually enter values in game, for example, when adjusting mouse sensitivity. About fucking time. Hotkey adjustments. Updated the sorting order of hotkeys for controls. Action melee weapon has been reassigned to you. Melee attack has been reassigned to you on double click. Cool. Balancing changes. Simplify the objectives for setup and long road. Oh, thank God. Setup sucks. Completely remove trade offers for classics, body armor, plate carriers, ballistic plates, and helmets. Modifications from traders. These items can now only be found in raid. Only took them. Thank you. I've been waiting for something like that to happen in this game for a very long time. It almost makes me want to cry. Thank fucking God. Now do the same thing with ammo. Anyway, change the availability of ammo on the flea market. Now all ammo with less than 42 penetration is allowed on flea, with a few exceptions. Increase damage of 7.62, 5.45, and 9x19, 9x21 calibers. Slightly reduce the damage of some 5.56 ammo. HK users seething right now. AK users and Russian gun users excited. That's basically me. I like AKs a lot. Technical changes. Equipment clipping. Implemented the anti-clipping system. Now elements of helmets, glasses, masks, collars, headsets will correctly be displayed on the character in any combination. Yes! I've always hated that. Oh my God. That's going to be... I can't wait to drip out. I would literally like only choose certain masks and helmets because they didn't clip. And now that like everything works together, the drippiness is going to be off the charts. That's going to be sick. Love that. Animations. Rework the animation playback system to increase the accuracy of first and third person synchronization when possible. Optimize the left shoulder animations for more smoothness. Hopefully this means when we ADS on the left shoulder, it's not as janky because like it's very fidgety and weird. Added special door interaction animations. The number of interactive object animations will increase further in future updates. Oh, fantastic. So no more like wave my hand and zip tie my finger through my gun to open up a jacket anymore. I'm hoping. Because like that shit has always bothered me. When your guy's like, let me open a jacket. Hand phases through gun. You know what I mean? All little shit like that. Fantastic. Love that. Redesign the weather condition display system at the player's client. Fix bugs that led to unpredictable weather conditions and raid at certain cases. Improve the cloud visuals. Clouds react to weather changes more realistically. Updated FSR technology to 3.0. Removed support for FSR version 1.x. Switched in-game season to summer. Yay. No more spring. Improve the environment sound system. Developed a component that tracks the position and rotation of the listener and moves the source along any predetermined curve, changing not only the position of the source, but also the angle. By changing the exposure angle of the sound, it becomes more natural. So basically what this means is the sounds will play from their natural positions. So if you hear a bird in a tree and you turn, it's not just going to play in stereo sequences in your ear. Gray zone warfare and frogs. So when you hear sounds, it's going to sound like it's coming from a localized part of the environment. So it's not just a stereo sound anymore. That's going to enhance the immersion a lot. It should be pretty nice, I think, assuming it like, you know, works as good as it's supposed to. So yeah, that's a fantastic change. It's going to make the game much more immersive. Implement a large number of different sound sources to enhance immersion. For example, the flow of water through the pipes on factory, the rats running in the vents, and many small details that are randomly played at specific points, from the fall of pebbles to the interface of electricity for in generators and the air coming out of boilers. That's really cool. So just a lot of like little sound sources and whatnot. I love that. Sound system performance optimization, occlusion calculation, and algorithm adjustments. Transfer the whole algorithm to multi-threaded calculations. That's actually good news. Finalize the search and calculation of the angle between the source and the listener. Okay. Improve the use of depth to determine the effect of the sound. Improve the curve tuning, which is responsible for volume decay and sound propagation in complex geometry locations. With these adjustments, overall sound is smoother with a better grasp on the sound source and location. Improve the active headsets adjustment. This is good. Improve the separation of weapon sounds and other sounds into different compressor channels. Added the splitting of sound subgroups and increased the number of customizable parameters for more control. Adjusted the frequency response, noise reduction level, and compressor values, as well as the technical specifications to match the specs of the real headsets. Recorded the real active headsets that are used in-game, the sounds of shooting and environmental sounds in them to allow further fine-tuning. The position of sounds, distance awareness, and the sounds of in-game active headsets were noticeably improved. All headsets have their own unique equalization, resulting in a different sound for all headsets. So, I think what this means is basically what they're trying to say is that they have done nothing and that everything's going to sound exactly the same. Thank you, Battlestate. We love you so much. Can't wait to hear people not make sound. I'm kidding. So obviously it sounds like they've made some really good improvements here, and they've actually fine-tuned the equalization, because when you put on active headphones, because I have some behind me on my OpsCore helmet back there, when you put on headphones, it does dampen the sound of certain frequencies. So example, gunshots, bass. Gunshots are not going to probably be as bassy, and you're still going to hear the gunshot. It's just going to sound different. It's going to be equalized differently because it's not playing that very loud boom, whereas that gunshot is most likely going to sound much different without headphones on now. And so I'm really hoping that this actually is a very positive change to the game, because I know before this patch they removed the perception skill, increasing hearing distance. It took them fucking forever, but finally, like, that was always very OP. And so this is actually hopefully a really big change. And I would actually argue probably one of the biggest changes in the patch notes is just to change the headsets, because we all wear them, we use them all the time. And so I'm really curious to see what these sound like now, because this could mean a major improvement to how we hear things within the game. So that's pretty exciting. Anti-cheat update. Implemented protection against a series of exploits related to monitoring loot on players' locations using forbidden software. Implemented protection against a series of exploits related to the network synchronization of unfair movement using forbidden software. Okay. List of changes. Fix a number of visual bugs, geometry. So a bunch of fixes. Fix visual artifacts, fix synchronization of loot, whatever. Fix things. So just a bunch of fixes. I'm not going to read all these. Whatever. Honestly, pretty good patch. I have a feeling there is some things on here that we may see once we're in game. But overall, I think this is a pretty good update. Definitely worthy of a wipe. A lot of good new content. Some big features like Karma, map-to-map travel. These are huge. Again, I think for me, the biggest one is really the AI. Or sorry, not the AI. The fucking sounds. The sound change, I think, is the biggest thing. Especially in regards to headphones, because that's always been a big negative about Tarkov for a long time. It's just how headphones work and how they attune the sound, how they play sound, how you hear things. And hopefully with these sound improvements, not only to the immersion, because this is going to make everything feel so much more immersive. This is going to make hopefully things actually sound better in terms of how we hear them, and then the headphones balance on top of that. I think this is probably my favorite thing in the patch notes so far. So I'm really excited to see how this changes things, because for me, like, I don't really get excited for like new maps. Like, this is great, you know, new boss, cool, you know, more of what we already kind of have, right? Karma, okay, that's cool. Map-to-map travel, cool, you know, new features. But it's the rework of like things that have been busted for a very long time getting improved is what I usually get excited about, and kind of core gameplay change balances to like the meta. So like, for example, like level 6 armor no longer being at the traders, like that to me is a really awesome